Hey everybody, Andy Whitehead here from recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. So today I want to share with you a 9 truths around being a recruitment search business owner that I've seen over the years, now in these times now transition, but 9 observations that I've seen that either can be the pivot point to actually get to the outcome, whether it be a financial outcome or a model outcome, or indeed it can be a pivot point that takes that recruitment business down. So, first one is this. You're not a recruiter. You're not a recruiter. You're a business owner. You're a business owner. So, this is so important. So, when we, as entrepreneurs, we start our journey, we have a vision. We have a vision. And that vision is not to be in a job. It's probably going to be around a financial outcome. It's be around a model outcome. So, the laptop recruiter and that branding we've been using now for 8-9 years. Now that was from a need inside me to live from a laptop first of all, and developed into the laptop recruiter, have that freedom. And as I've grown up and gone through different phases in business and seen an awful lot, both internally and externally, one of the key things I've seen over and over again as a success point, or indeed a possible route to failure, is the business owner not processing that they're actually a business owner. They're in recruitment or they're in search. They may be dealing with a 100k fee. It could be dealing with a per hour temp fee. But the reality is this: unless you're looking to probably achieve what your job salary is, whether it's going to be 100, 200k per year, whatever your figure is, you're actually a business owner. You're not a recruiter. You have that vision of creating a business to give you a set of outcomes. And maybe you're working 80 hours. I don't know. Maybe you've got not got the financial outcome that you want. I don't know. But what I do know is every single recruitment or search business that I've engaged with over the years, one of the most pivotal moments is when that business owner gets, they are a business owner. And the only piece in their business that is recruitment is the lifeblood that goes through it. So I'll say that again. They're a business owner, and recruitment stroke search is the lifeblood that goes through it. But what they need to master is growing a business. And with search stroke recruitment being the blood that makes it happen. So moving from a job and working for the man and being a business owner are two completely different animals. And then there gets a ceiling. When we get into scaling, a business owner or a new business owner may well get to a point of making rapid implementation and getting to a good financial outcome, but there'll be a ceiling. And that ceiling is always around when it becomes a process of, right, my role needs to change in the business. My business needs to change in terms of the way it operates. So you're a business owner, you're not a recruiter. And the sooner we get that, the sooner we realise that we're creating a business that should function with, or less so, without us. So when we look at the business owners who say, what's your 1-year vision, your 3-year vision, your 5-year vision? It's pretty normal to get 3 to 5 years and want to exit the business. Fabulous. So if you want to exit the business, you must sell your business as a business, not as a job that you've maintained. So the first truth is this: operate as a business owner. Operate as a business owner, not a recruiter. Key distinction. Second one is this: if you do not win long term, you don't win. You don't win. One of my frustrations over the years is we were originally known as the inbound and automation people in recruitment and search, and we have business owners coming to us for automation and the one-to-many approach, the leverage approach, etc. And part of that is because we live in a bullshit society, ADHD society, is we press a big button and suddenly we get £1 million in the bank. So when we run campaigns, so for example in RMI, when a member joins us, we've had a double R campaign running within 24 hours, appointments, and then we're closing using something called the CAS conversion call. That's good. That's about getting momentum. That isn't your business. So if we're not thinking long term, you don't win. You don't win. So if I ask you, are you going to be in business in a year's time? You're going to say yes. You're going to be in business in 3 years' time. You're going to say yes, probably, or you might say looking to exit in 3 to 5 years. So if we look at a cycle of 30 days, 90 days, 1 year, 3 years, 3 years being long term, if you don't win long term, you don't win. You don't win. So the recruitment industry, and I've been in the industry now about a decade. From about a decade, my background was systems engineering, in investment banking, and then in the media space. So I come from a strategic systems engineering background. When I came to recruitment about a decade ago, it was like, wow, it's like the wild, wild west. And when I looked at how the recruitment individual focused and built their business, I was quite frankly blown away. There was no reverse engineering going on. One of the strategies we've got, I've dealt with a £13 billion company, and I've dealt with hundreds of startup companies and everything else you can imagine in between. Not one company has done what I would consider a base exercise in terms of actually understanding the market, in terms of base metrics. So there are some fundamentals as a business owner that they all stack up together. But if we're going into this day and we're doing the same thing in January that we were doing in last September, or if we're doing the same thing in June and we're doing the same thing in September, you haven't got a business, you've got a job. Your role should change. So typically we might go through a 90-day cycle. So 30 days to implement strategies to bring in clients, candidates, or the foundational elements. Then days 30 to 60, we calibrate and get that strategy working and systemized. And days 60 to 90, we then accelerate. And then it becomes automated and someone else in the business will run it. So if you're doing the same activities in 6 months' time, you've got a job. You haven't got a business. And if you're challenging me, well, Andy, I'm the only one who can speak to my clients. Listen, I've had over the years Fortune 500 companies, NASDAQ companies, CEOs, and the business owner says he's the only person to talk to them. It soon becomes clear, well, sometimes it takes years, that isn't the case. Your job is to build a system. It's to build a system. And there's only 3 parts to your business I'll come to shortly. But we must get this. If you don't win long term, you don't win. You don't win. But because we live in this instant gratification society, we see that go on Instagram, you'll get candidates. Go on Facebook, you'll get, quite frankly, it's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's absolute bullshit. You want to be doing 1 million, which means you need 50 placements, which means maybe you need 150 appointments, which means maybe you need to have 450 qualified candidates, which means etc. It's very simple recruitment. We complicate it. And because we don't think long term, something else comes into our environment and we take action on it. It's now, now, now. One of the best things you can do is delete all apps from your phone. Facebook, LinkedIn, delete them. So you're not in the now. So if you're not thinking long term, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. Next, less is more. Less is more. This is taken me years and years and years and years to get, and it's still a need for me to calibrate on this often. Every strategy we create for members, I test, I create it. So I've got a systems engineering background. When I came into recruitment, first of all, we were known as the front end, bring the leads in, bring the candidates in, dominating the market, marketing. But there's 3 parts to your business I'll come to in a minute. And because I love all the testing at the front end, you can forego other parts of the business that fail. So in recruitment, less is more. If you need $1 million this year, and that means your dividend will be 600,000, whatever your number is, you reverse engineer it. And that means you need X amount of one-to-ones at your current conversion rate. You need X amount of candidates, etc. Typically, in that first 12 months, there'll be 2 or 3 strategies that will be used that will become world-class. So to give you an example, we've got a strategy called Double R, Double R. And one of our members, Peter, go to our case studies page on our website. You'll find numerous accounts of this type of approach. So because we're building a business, we're going to run a campaign. It's an automated campaign. And we'll run it on the first cycle, and it might convert at 5%. We get 5% back in our inbox. So we tweak it. Tweak it means change a few words, by the way. We run it again. We get 10%. Now, for Peter, it took him 9 cycles. 9 cycles. So in that case, if that's a weekly cycle, it took 9 weeks to get this on point. But what we're doing, we're changing a few words in an automated campaign and click and go at this point. This is for a new business or a new member. So we're changing a few things and click and go. Now, when it gets to the point of converting, for Peter, it was 9 cycles. It was 9 cycles. When we got to that point, what's happening is that campaign can now run over and over again for months, possibly years, as long as we've got the front end of the process, the clients and candidates mapped and segmented. So that's one simple process. We're changing a few words. Now, think about what most recruitment businesses do. Again, he 5X'd in his first year. So 9 weeks of, you might call it frustration, but still winning along the way. But frustration maybe compared to other members. Think about what happens in most recruitment businesses. We do the same thing every day. Or we hire a digital marketing person. Yippee, we're on Facebook. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You've got a set of very simple steps to get to your financial outcome. And that will be based on systematic steps. Now, there'll be peripherals around it that increase the conversion. But this shiny object syndrome of there's Instagram and it's absolute bollocks that is out there. So as a business owner, what we must get is less is more. Less is more for you and also for your team. And it's a case of when you look at what goes back, you look back across the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, whatever your number might be, you'll find a trend there. Even if you've been doing things in the old school way of recruitment, there will be a trend there. And there'll be things that you could have leveraged. So you might find, for example, There's a certain type, if you're, God forbid, doing cold calling, but there might be in a certain niche that works with a certain script in a certain time of the day, in a certain state at a certain time. There's always a trend there, every single time. Every single time. There's always a trend. So with you as a business owner, less is more. Now, as a business owner, and as you start to grow, one of the things that happen is we build a team around us. We build a team around us. And we have this central point, which is you, the hub. And then we start to add in maybe VAs, commissioning recruiters, or if it's old school, you might have 5 desks, or whatever your model is. And you're still one of the central pivot points. Now, what that means is you get decision fatigue. You get decision fatigue. So, because you're involved with so much around you, you're involved with so much decision making. The decision making to hire someone, sack someone, look at a campaign metric, it's all the same energy. It's why I like to Zuckerberg wear the same things every single day to remove that decision making fatigue. And as a business owner in recruitment, often it's reactive. It's reactive. So we may have roles out. So right now we've got we're running a couple of tests with one of our members now, and it's in the private equity and venture capital space. And there are 2 roles that are currently right on the edge of going over, which should be worth very, very handsome, multiple 6-figure set of fees. So at this point, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we think about the 80-20 rule. We need to keep this client engaged. So we've got a strategy called triple CP, which basically means we're always in front of the client without being salesy. Now, what might happen in the old days, if you've got 10 of these, you might be following up 10 clients over and over and over again. Whereas you could have one automated campaign, so each time this happens, bam, 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 client's gone dead, we hit go, we're in front of the client, we're in front of the client, in front of the client, over and over again. We're simply uploading their email to the system. So as a business owner, less is more will give you the biggest jump. But what it means, though, is stopping and breathing. Stopping and breathing. But if you don't do this, you'll get decision-making fatigue, you'll make wrong decisions, but also you'll be in what we call maintenance mode that I'll come to shortly. So one of the biggest things that you'll ever see in base metrics, or even base finances, or base team members, or whatever way you want to break it down, there's always a trend. There's always a trend. Pareto's law, 80-20. But less is more for you as a business owner, but also in terms of all the activities you're doing. Your end goal is to get to 1 million this year. Or if you're running over at 7 million now and you've got 20 desks, your end goal is what? It isn't to have 1,000 Instagram followers. You're going to judge success of that desk by, we hit 500K from inception. So make sure you keep it simple. Now next, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. As a business owner, you've probably got some alpha blood in you. You've probably got some passion in you. You've probably got some balls, male and female balls in you. So have the gumption and the tenacity to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And to do that means we've got a sense of confidence. We may have to, put our shoulders back and make ourselves believe our confidence. But you've got something that probably 90% of the world hasn't got. You've got something special. But that can also put a veil on you. It can put a veil on you and allow you to make incorrect assumptions and observations about you as a business owner. Now, I've been involved with successful and failing businesses, probably about number 10. And one of the best things that can happen to you as a business owner is to lose it all, I believe. Now, I had a fortunate or unfortunate circumstance with property a decade plus ago. And I actually created worksheets which detailed where I was buying property. From 1946 up to that point, they doubled every 7 years. So how could it not be a guaranteed winner? Of course, something's never happened before. Happened in 2008. What happened with COVID? Something's never happened before. It's an opportunity. You can now see it. But as a business owner, if this is your first rodeo, as one of my members says, if it's your first rodeo, your first business, or your first recession, you're going to be making decisions based on your perception. So why is it 2 people can see the same event and then interpret it in completely different ways? It's perception. And your perception is what's been built since birth. You've been brought up to believe in a certain way. You've been brought up to act in a certain way. You've been brought up to believe in what you can attain in a certain way. And you're a business owner, quite frankly, you've got balls and big high five. But what you must also understand is the following. We go back to the previous point. Unless you've got a model where you're in the middle and then you've got team leaders around you, then you've got your business. Unless you've got that model, 100%, you're the point of failure and the point of success. Now, if you've got a business probably turnover of 20 million plus, you've got a model that you're not at the epicenter. But guess what? Ultimately, you're still the point of success and the point of failure. So the sooner we get this, the sooner we can get almost into a third person observing our own behavior. So one of the most beautiful things about accepting you're the point of failure and the point of success, it means you can fix it because you fucked up. It means you can fix it. If we start saying that person's done this and that person's done that, yes, they might be a grade C performer. But if you take responsibility for hiring them, training them, replacing them, a better system, it's fixable. So the sooner we get as a recruitment business owner that is on us, it's a game changer. We've got a member, Jonathan Spees, We had a call about 7 months ago. In fact, there might be a case study on recruitmentmarketinginternational.com/case studies. And Jonathan, essentially, is about 8x this year. He's a one-man business, so from 780k, it's on to 480k for half of the year, which is good. But Jonathan, I had a conversation, and the book that I recommend Jonathan was a book around from Jonathan, and it's called Extreme Ownership. And he's a Navy SEALs trainer. And Jonathan Speaks is an absolute legend of man, brilliant man, funny as hell as well. But what's really, really interesting, I've been through that transition where when we start to see that this is on us, it's not on anyone else, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And why is it one strategy will work for someone in a same niche and in a same starting point, and then someone else will get a 10x better result? Why is that? Because of the execution, not because of the methodology, not because of the template, not because of the automation, not because of the direction. It's the execution. And as the point of failure and success of the business owner in recruitment, execution can be difficult. Why? Because you turn on your laptop in the morning, bam, 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 bam. Your inbox is designed to appease other people. So to execute as the business owner, you need space in your mind. You need to remove decision fatigue. To do that, you need to be able to think now, also 30 days, 90 days, 1 year, 3 years, so we think long term. And we must get, we're a business owner, see how it's fitting together. So once you get the point of success and the point of failure, very quickly, if you run, for example, an automated campaign and it converts to 10% and someone else converted 50%, what's different here? The execution. Next, your business has 3 simple parts. So when I came into recruitment about a decade ago, at the time I left so originally my background was I left university, did a university degree in business management marketing, not they taught me anything. Then I went to London and like the nursery rhyme goes, ended up getting a lucky break and such. And my first role was at a bank called Nomura at the time, the biggest Japanese investment bank in the world, based at bank in the city of London, pinstripes and all this, and little boy from country town, etc. And got in there, doing literally photocopying. And then someone saw that I was what we call a grafter in the UK. I work hard. And then they gave me an opportunity to essentially learn user interface systems testing, which is very simple. And then it progressed into systems inside investment banking and so forth. And then fast forward, Reuters, Casino, the Queen stockbroker, consulted around Europe, and then at BSkyB, had quite a big team for a young person. And my role was to ensure that the CRM implementation worked effectively. And at the time, it was the biggest in Europe, so there were hundreds of people on that project. It's a strategy I've always got, and I've always been able to look at the big picture and reverse engineer the steps. Why? Don't know. But it's something I've always got. When I came into recruitment, and I was asked to speak at a private mastermind. At that time, I was consulting with recruitment companies, automotive companies, and all sorts. And this recruitment leader asked me to present to his medical group, which I did, and it went very well. When I started to see what's going on in recruitment, when I started to piece it together, I was blown away. I was blown away by the landscape. It was like the wild, wild west. The wild, wild west. And because of my background being systems engineering, digital, etc., I was thinking, recruitment, there's 3 parts of recruitment. We've got basically front end, number 1, we've got leads coming in, client leads, and candidate leads coming in, number 1. Number 2, we've got conversion points. Conversion point being everything sits underneath converted clients. Could be one-to-one, could be the pre-want of client, could be the process behind it, could be the candidate conversion process, interview process, the whole thing. So there's like 40, 50 little modules underneath that. So you've got the leads coming in, we've got the conversion process, then number 3, we've got delivery. So the candidate is actually being delivered on site, we get to our 90-day guarantee, etc. Then underneath it, we've got a cycle. 1 is we optimize what we've just gone through, and 2 is we scale it, and then it becomes like a flywheel. So when I came to recruitment, I was like, this is so simple. And first of all, I made some mistakes. I focused a lot on the lead side of it, so lead and bringing client leads, bringing in candidate leads, making sure that they matched up, etc. But then over the years, make sure we've got conversion processes nailed, and we've got delivery processes nailed. Then we've got optimization process for each strategy, and then you scale, and it becomes a flywheel. So your business has only got 3 parts to it. So when I come into it, and whether it be dealing with an 8-figure business or dealing with a startup and everything else in between, it's very simple to see straight away what's going on here, what the problem is. Most businesses come to us for 1 or 2 reasons. One is they're in, especially now, in a form of crisis mode, or we're trying to get some stability back in the business. And then we've got the other businesses who've maybe reached a plateau. They know that recruitment's changed. They know that what used to work is not working quite so well. They've been at a certain figure now for 3 years, etc. So there's two sort of item avatars that come in. But every single time, the outcome is this. You get a client, you place the candidate, you get to your payment points, your milestone points, you optimize the process, and you scale. Now, because my background's inbound and automation, first of all, and systems engineering, I've managed to look at recruitment from a helicopter view and see how simple it is. But as a business owner, we've been ingrained to so much historical evidence that used to work in recruitment that the business of recruitment search is the following. And one of the things that I saw, first of all, when someone applied to join us was, what's one of your outcomes? I want to get 20 bums on seats. I want to have a team of 20. No, you don't. No, you don't. Let's start again. What's your outcome? And it would go around, I want to be number 1 in the niche. No, you don't. What's your outcome? I want to get to 2 million. Okay, let's now break it down. What profit does that mean? I don't know. Okay, what dividend do you need? What money do you need out of the business yourself? Number 1. What do you want? What do you and your spouse need? What will appease your spouse to change the direction of your ship in the next year? Let's take out 400k. Okay, now we've got a starting point. Next, what's the model of the business that you want? So do you want a business whereby it's virtual? Do you want a model whereby you're in one niche? Do you want a model whereby you're out of the business? Do you want a model you're looking to sell the business in 3 years? What are you looking to achieve here? every single time, whether we're dealing with an 8-figure business or indeed an internal recruitment function with billions level, there's 3 parts to this process. There's 3 parts to this process. So with the HR side of things, and then focusing on just delivery. Underneath that, there's a set of steps. Underneath conversion, for you as a business owner, there's a set of steps. Underneath leads, a set of steps. It's very simple, but we complicate it. So again, this fits into, right, what do we need to do now? So often it'd be, what do you need right now? And I'll get told, many clients say, great, so we can get these roles. Can you get the candidates by hook or by crook? Might be painful right now. And it'd be a yes or a no. And of course, we want to get systems in place to bring clients in, bring the candidates in. That's step 1. That's the lead for the process. Then we've got a conversion process. So it's typical for our members who use what we call client system to get 100% conversion, 100%, and go retained. Why is that? Because what we do preceding that, what we're actually doing conversion call. The conversion call is actually been pre-framed before with digital elements and things that I brought from investment banking, etc. So when we're actually on the call, there's no objections. That's what we've done before. So your business, first of all, is 3 steps. My leads, which is clients and candidates. Number 1, what are my metrics? What am I doing? What are my metrics? Number 2, my conversion. So you might say, I've run a campaign, Andy, I've got 50 1-to-1s. I run this LinkedIn campaign and it's automating, get my diary filled. I've got 20 appointments this week. Fabulous. How many converted? None. Doesn't mean shit. Or I've got 20 roles now. I've done none. It all fits together. I'm not going to be a flat line that we build all 3 elements. So remove this fixed and family. So 3 parts of your business and look to focus on 3. Next, maintenance versus scale. Maintenance versus scale. So this is a difficult one. And the difficulty is this. You don't know that you're in it. So we've got we get them 3 times a year. And James said that, and it's so to come to you in a circle because I kept seeing these things online and stuff sounds like bullshit. Now you can start Facebook groups, these are real people. So scale is a word that's been bastardized. It's a word that's been bastardized over the years. It's easy to say scale your business. What does it actually mean? You can scale your business and lose your marriage. You can scale your business and 5x your revenue, but actually not get a better profit. Or you can scale your business by maybe going from 35 branches down to 7 branches and making more profit. So scale it in a different way. What does scale really mean? And it goes back to what your outcome is. So with maintenance, virtually almost 100% of businesses that come to us, whether they're quote on paper successful or they're a startup or they're in between, 120, 24, 500, etc. In between, they're in maintenance mode. And what that means is we're not doing tasks, implement strategies, measuring them. That means we could take a big jump forward. So if we, for example, we start our day and we open our email and we speak to our team, we follow up our calls, then we go to that appointment. Then because we've been told to do an Instagram post, because that's the thing now. Then we get to 3, 4 in the afternoon. Right, I've got an hour left. 4 hours left. Right, follow up that client. What have we done there? We filled holes all around our business. What we've not done is actually created anything that will allow us to scale the business. We've got a date in maintenance mode. Now, it could be your desk or your niche or your business. It's a fabulous 3 months. And we've got a record 3 months. Right? Is it predictable for the next 3 months? Can you say, hand on heart, that your house is predictable for the next 3 months? Can you say that's 1% what that campaign is? Or you depend on one of your team members being in a better mental state next year? Or you depend on those 3 clients, those 3 clients hiring again in the next 3 months? Virtually every business comes to us in maintenance mode. So we go in scale mode. It means we've got to actually implement something that gives us a big jump. So normally I'd recommend 3 phase 1 is what you've always done, which is maintenance mode. Then you go through a transition. Then you go through, quote, inner circle, stroke scale strategies with the transition in the middle. But if you're not cognizant as a business owner, am I taking the time out here to scale my business? Or am I working damn hard, and you are recruiting business owners, what a breed. But am I actually taking the time out now to create that vehicle that would allow me to sell the business in 3 years? Am I creating that vehicle that will allow me to have less operations in the business, but create more revenue and more profit? Am I creating a scaling strategy process that will allow a new team member to 5x that part of the business? So if you lay out your entire business workflow start to end, so if I've got a business big leads, all workflows need leads, right, conversion, all workflows need conversion, right, delivery, all delivery, and then go through an optimization phase and a scale phase. Every 9 days, you go through that cycle. So with your business, you need to be conscious of high-fiving you, so you say, this is young, smash it, and then you get awesome because you work in a business that makes face masks, let's say. And your clients make face masks, your clients are in the fashion industry, they've now pivoted, and they're selling face masks, and they're doing really well, legal stuff. So you have a big jump, and you feel invincible. Now again, if you don't win in the long term, you don't win. Now I'm being that guy who sat in a dark room, and I consider myself to be one of the most mentally strong people I know. And that is how egos, I've just evidence that I've proven myself over the years. But if I can go through that hell, anyone can. I won't wish it on anyone. So don't get a false sense of security because you're being busy and you're managing to stay afloat, or your intention is to grow by 10%. You see people saying right now, even with the COVID thing, no, wrong. What are you doing to actually scale the business? And it's a completely different set of actions and measurements than what you do in your business daily. It's huge. Why we get together 3 times a year allows you to take that breather. Or we get together a few times each week online. Take that breather, take that reset. So maintenance of the business is probably what you're doing. But what you're actually doing to create that vehicle to get that business in 3 years. Next, your business is going to be weakest link. So think of in the UK, if you Google weakest link, Google and something, she's very famous here, that phrase. With the weakest link in your team, what you have is a process. If your business is structured properly, you've got a process. And ideally, you want your process to be systemized, documented, and you've got a dual, which means 2 people do the same activity, holidays, etc. But the reality is in your business, it might be just you now. But in your business, you may have to 5 different roles. So you may be accounts, you may be administration, you may be sales, you may be candidate delivery, you may be do marketing, you might be a business owner with 5 people. But you're only as good as your weakest link. Now, if you've got good team players, and they come in as a B standard, and then they hire for you, they might bring in a C, and that becomes toxic. So with your business, that model says you're in the centre, you're contacting the entire team, you'll get decision fatigue. If you've got a business whereby there's you, and we've got leads, we've got conversion, and we've got delivery, now you're something you can manage easily, even with the virtual model, with the VA model, the recruiter model. So it removes you from the process. So when you see, for example, some members getting on iTunes, have they got time to do an iTunes podcast because of that model? So your business, so it's the weakest link. Now, the ability to wake up in the morning and you've got a problem with your team and you've got to get to decision mode and decide how to fix it. Again, because you're an alpha, you may have a little bit of aggression there and you may say things in a manner that you regret afterwards. You definitely can't do that with things and fair things. You've got to keep your composure. But when you're thinking about how I deal with this problem that's been created by this person, that decision-making energy is the same decision-making energy that could be made focused on how to scale. So, when you have a weak link in the team, you must have a definite set of milestones for you. It's time to change or it's time to systemize. So you simply have a blueprint, which means that all the criteria for this activity are defined. When it's not used, it's very measurable in the result. But your business, if you think about your business as a set of operating points, leads, conversion, delivery. Again, the weakest link there, you might have all the leads in the world. So we've had members in COVID have record registrations for some of our strategies. So we created a brand new, webinar appointment funnel for COVID, which means you get 5 one-to-ones with clients, up to 6 even. And part of that process, without speaking about recruitment, works like gangbusters. So we get all these conversion points in, we've got the leads, we've got the conversion points in, but the sub-module, have we actually got the business? In some cases, no. So what's the weakest link there? It's part of the process. So we've got the conversion calls in place, we've got the template for the framework, but we've not got it. So on that conversion framework, we speak to the client, there are 9 boxes. Which is, two like the frame circle. He's getting automated diary bookings, private in strategy, schedule diary. He's on a call, that's great. And if you've got great, no, that's great. Great, didn't go great. You didn't convert it. So we're through 9 boxes, it's box 9 we need to focus on. So you break box 9 down into another 9 boxes. There's 9 boxes within that one box. So the weakest link here is that conversion point. And when Craig nails that, he's going to get the business, and it's going to be automated. So the next step will be delivery. And it'll be a conversion point around delivery. So over the course of the next 2 to 4 weeks, you get the delivery part nailed. Now very quickly, Craig's got his first cycle of steps 1, 2 and 3 systemized, becomes scalable. So your business is only going to be weakest link to the team, it's only your performance, and your fatigue up here, and it's your process, 1, 2, 3. Next. You're not different. I said that anyway, Dickie. I've probably spoken over the years to thousands of recruitment personas, thousands of social thousands in every country imaginable, every niche you can imagine, every city you can imagine. You've only been in that niche, it's been done. And one phrase I get, we are different because I'll always listen, but you're not different. You're not different. But we always think we're different because we live in our world. It's, we are the, you're in your bottle. I can see the writing on the bottle, but you're in the bottle. You can't see the writing. And it's great for you because you're not different, because it means there's a pragmatic set of steps that work, that can be replicated. But we think we're different because we're in our bottle, we're in our world. So to say we're different because we do this. Again, I've spoken to thousands of recruitment search businesses over the years, and I've not once gone, you're right. You may market differently, you're different. You may get candidates from the 3 steps of social, you're different. You may be most well-known guy in niche, you're different. You're different. We're speaking because you want to get $1 million a share, or $5 million a share. You're not there. Why not there? Let's break it down. And there will always be fundamentals that have not been applied. So what we have to do with business owners is understand we are not different. We may have different flavours in our meal, which is our business, but ultimately the meal's the same. It's the same. And I think about members got to their first million year with us, and some of the foundational components have been pulled in. But that one set, that simplification, that simple campaign, it could be a monthly campaign, it could be a weekly campaign. Now that allows us to get control of our metrics. One of them was Dan Franks, he was about 2-3 years now. The last time he was in London, he came in on expenses, he's actually funded by a company who asked him to speak at one of their events in London. He's now become a London speaker, so he's a leader, which is great. So Darren says different. Yeah, he can actually say he's different. But he's worked on that. But underneath it, he's connected his business as well. So there's empirical evidence saying, Darren, we are different now. But outside looking at what Darren's done, we've got to pick up what's happening. It's underneath it, but it's different. It's the engine that needs to be different. It's like being famous versus being successful. Famous versus successful. You being different, the question should be, how do I reach my outcome? Now it's up to you. Your decisions. Your decisions decide your business. They define your business. And that's an easy thing to say. But when you get this, this is key. If you take a decision now, okay, and this is your direction, you make a decision now. It could be you find someone, it could be, and it comes to your niche. It could be, now's the time that we implement X. Whatever decision it will be. It's a big decision. It could be a 45-degree decision. Take it out 1 month, 5 months, 12 months. You're in a completely different stratosphere. You're in a different whole galaxy. If you make a decision by 5 degrees, which is, I'm going to spend the next 30 days focusing on writing articles, or whether the latest BS is that you may have seen somewhere, or simply interview people, because that's going to get me, publicity. Whatever crap has been out there. But that decision, take it out 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, you're in a completely different destination. Now, why is that important? It's important for two factors. Number 1 is this: where you end up. You've decided where you're going. But if you haven't got a vision, and the vision means metrics about 3 years, 1 year, how on earth can you make a decision about changing your direction of business, or including or removing a strategy? So with your decisions, one of the most important things that you'll do in your business is what you say no to. It's what you say no to, not what you say yes to. What you say no to. It's much more important. I've been asked to go on in UK Channel 4, Channel 5. Channel 4 is a prime time TV slot. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening, midweek. Essentially, candidates were looking to move around the world, and so from the UK to Japan, from America to Tanzania, etc. And my job was to coach the candidate. I said, that's not me. That's not what I'm about. I'm about building businesses. Unbeknownst to me, they recruit, that's my hoodie. Jeff Inham, that's our passion, my goodness. They passed it to the production company. I swear on my life, and everyone around me. The next day, there was a camera crew down that day to film me and my wife and my family alone to do a screen test. I said no. Now we'll be in front of millions and millions of people. I said no. The reason why I said no at that point is, quite frankly, I like my privacy. If you look at me online, I've only been active for the last 4 or 5 months. Why is that? I took a couple of years out of business, I became a dad, and that was my priority. I took care of my members. But my priority was being a dad. So saying no to that business opportunity would take my ship in a completely different direction. I wasn't in control of where it was going. I didn't know where it was going. It meant losing time. And the important thing is this: if you're spending 10% of time doing this, that means spend 10% of time not doing that. So if you've got a metrics-driven plan, you know what you need to do to get to that outcome. Or you know you've got Normally it's not. Normally it's not. So what you say no to is more important than what you say yes to as a recruitment search business owner. So there's my batteries about to go. And as you can see, that's what I do on the whiteboard, but I've got the chance to go that way.